Good afternoon, my name is Kelda Stevenson. I'm the very proud head teacher of Swakeleys School for Girls. This afternoon I'm going to talk about our school and what makes it so special, and I'm also going to talk about our admissions process, which is slightly different to other schools. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation. Swakeleys is a really special place, and I'm going to talk to you first off about our values. We've got 4 school values, and they are enjoy, achieve, aspire and succeed. So I'm going to start with the first value, which is enjoy. So here's some students at our school jumping for joy with excitement. They're not like that every day, but children do enjoy Swakeleys School for Girls, and I'm going to tell you why that is. First off, our curriculum is really wide and varied. So we've got subjects such as design and technology, so food technology, childcare, sociology, physics, further maths, music, dance, and these are subjects that we're really happy and delighted to offer the students at Swakeleys, and they really enjoy them. In addition, students are able to choose their options during year 8, so that they start year 9 with their new subjects. And they love that. That's really motivating to the students, and it also gives them 3 years, so year 9, 10 and 11, to really embed the skills that they need for GCSE. Our students really enjoy the school because they're taught by subject specialists, and we've got a really stable team of staff at Swakeleys, many of whom have worked at the school for a long time, and they really know their craft. They really are subject specialists, and they're able to ignite that passion in the students that attend Swakeleys, whether that's in dance, music, drama, maths, PE. Our students really enjoy being part of our diverse community, and we absolutely celebrate our diversity at Swakeleys. So that could be through having assemblies that focus on different religious festivals, and also we have an annual culture day where students are able to dress in whatever they want to represent who they are. Our students enjoy Swakeleys because there's a huge amount of extra activities that go on, from clubs to trips. There are over 100 trips that took place from the school last year. And some of them were, for example, to universities to build aspirations. Some of them were to go to visit performances, for example, to see Hamilton. So there's a lot going on that supports the learning in the classroom. We've got a really strong house system at Swakeleys. It's completely embedded in school, and there's all sorts of competitions that take place throughout the year. Talent competitions, sport competitions. There was even one to build the best rocket in the summer term. And the students really are involved in all aspects of that. They are in one of 8 houses, and the 8 houses are named after inspirational, remarkable women. And if you visit the school and talk to the students, you'll find that they're wearing a card holder of a certain colour which represents their house. It really brings our community together and different year groups together. The students really enjoy Swakeleys because it is a girls' school, and they're able to be free to be themselves, with freedom from stereotypes, and they're able to focus in their lessons without being distracted by the boys. That's what they tell me anyway. You'll have to take their word for it. And students also really enjoy our school because we've got a really strong system of leadership across the school. This is student leadership. So in each form group, you can volunteer to be the finance rep, the environment rep, the public relations rep. UTC is Uniform Transport Canteen, and you suggest your ideas about how we can improve the school. And it's so important, isn't it, that our women of the future are able to express themselves and debate ideas and make suggestions and make improvement to their school community. I really value that about our school. Here are some pictures of our culture day, as I mentioned earlier, and students dressing up, having a catwalk, all sorts of exciting things happening across the school to celebrate our community. Our second value is achieve, and we are a high achieving school. And research shows that girls in girls' schools do better than any other group nationally. And so students do achieve really well at Swakeleys School for Girls. There's various different ways of looking at data, and schools are very data rich. So first off, you can look at the grades that students get. We would call that attainment. so the percentage of students getting certain grades. So we have a look at some of our attainment from the summer just past. So 80% of our Year 11 students achieved 4 and above with English and Maths, that's a standard pass, and 59% achieved grade 5 and above, which is a good pass. And 500 of the grades were the top grades of 7, 8 and 9. So we were really proud of those results. When you compare our school to other Hillingdon schools, you can see we also compare favourably. And a simple way to look at this is for the attainment grade. Students on average will be getting a grade 5. Students in other schools in Hillingdon will be getting a grade 4. In terms of A-level, and I'm so happy that we have an A-level at Swakely School because it shows the students where they are moving on to from their GCSE subject. And this summer just gone, 1 in 5 of our grades were A-star and A. The students did really well. And what I love about looking at the destinations of some of our high achieving students is that they're going to different places around the country and they're studying different subjects. And that is because the passion that has been ignited in them from the subjects they've studied, from the teachers who have taught them at Swakely School for Girls. So you can see that students have gone off to do business, economics, geography, psychology, primary education. So these are the leaders of the future, having spent their time at Swakely School for Girls. The second way that you can look at student data is about progress. And this is comparing a student's starting point to their end point. So in secondary schools, their starting point would be what they achieved in their Year 6 SATs. And then we compare it to the end point, which is what they achieve in their GCSE grades. And each school is given a number, a Progress 8 score. And it's not too difficult to understand. Basically, if you're getting a number that's higher than 0, then it means that by attending that school, the children have made better than expected progress. The higher the number is, the better progress that the students in that school have made. And when we look at our Progress 8 score going back over the last few years, I haven't included the COVID years here because assessments were carried out slightly differently in those years, you can see we've got strong progress scores. So if we look at 2018, the progress score was plus 1.04, and that means on average the students made a whole grade better progress across all of their best 8 subjects than had they gone to a different school. And that really would put us in the top percentage of schools in the country. And you can see that that is a pattern across the last few years. And this academic year just gone, you'll be aware that the government changed the grade boundaries back to where they were pre-COVID, so in 2019, and nationally results have decreased. But still at Swakely's, our progress score, I'm really, really proud of it, and the students worked so hard. The progress score is plus 0.61, and that means that on average, every child in Year 11 made 2/3 of a grade better progress than expected in their GCSEs. It's really important that you look at student data, whether it's attainment, whether it's progress, because you need to know that when your child comes to secondary school, and I hope it is Swakely School that you choose, that they're going to come out with the right qualifications that they need to move on to the next stage in their educational journey. So don't just take my word for it, you can actually do some checking yourself. So in the next few weeks, once the government's had a chance to look at all the results from all of the schools in the country, all the students in the country, they will update this website. So it's the schools comparison website, and you can just put in 2023, you can look at secondary schools, and you can search around your postcode where you live, and it will basically rank in order in terms of whatever you choose, but for example progress, the schools where the students have made the best progress. So I'd really recommend that towards the end of October, before you've absolutely finalised your applications for your daughter's secondary school education, that you do check that website. You can also have a look at information such as this. So this is the validated data from 2022, so that's what's currently on that school's comparison website. And it has a little explanation about progress score, and it talks about Swakely School for Girls progress score of being plus 0.93, and it compares it to Hillingdon where the average score was 0.33, and you can see then it creates a graph for you, and it shows the national average here in the middle And then Swakely School is here in this pink bar, where we are at the more progress. So students coming to Swakely School make more progress than students nationally, and also students attending school in Hillingdon. Over the last few years, there have been quite a few accolades that the school has received because of the progress that students make. I'm just going to run through a couple of them just now. So a high performing school, we're a national support school, we were voted the best mainstream secondary school. We've been congratulated on stunning performance, one of the best in the country for student progress. And I love this quote: "The skilled teachers have high expectations and ambition for every young person." We've had 5 awards for achievement. So over the COVID years, there weren't so many of these awards given out because of the assessments being different, but now we fully expect that there will be some recognition for our results that we achieved in the summer. And finally, the Mayor's School for Success programme. The Mayor's Schools for Success said the latest data from 2019 shows that Swakely School has made fantastic progress with students that started behind their peers. So lots of information there about our achieve value and about achievement generally, about how you can look at student data, how you can compare different schools, and please do, with that information, have a look around and do some comparison. And I do hope that you will find that Swakely's comes up favourably when you do that research. Our third value is aspire. We are about creating young women of the future who have passions, who have interests, who want to go on to have a fulfilling work life, home life, be part of a community, be a leader of a community. And so it's really important that we ignite students' passion when they're with us at Swakely's. And our Aspire value is sort of embedded throughout the school. So for example, students every week in form time are given information and watch a little video about one type of job to sort of open their mind to all the different types of career that there are. And bear in mind that your child is very likely to have a number of different jobs, 10 or so different jobs in her career. Things have changed and moved on so quickly. Other activities in school, all of our students in Year 7 go on a Kidzania trip. We have work shadowing for our students in Year 10, so this replaced work experience, which many schools now are unable to offer because of the change in working patterns. We feel it's so important that children have an experience of the world of work. And so last year, all of our Year 10 students went out for a week. They found placements, we found them placements. So some of them were in organisations such as Coca-Cola, they were in hospitals, they were in schools, they were in libraries. Some of them were working for their family business, and they absolutely loved it, and it really showed them why they were working at school, what was it for. And so it's absolutely something that we are committed to as a school, so that we prepare students for the world of work. And the picture here shows our careers fair. During January we have a careers fortnight at Swakely's where we have all sorts of activities going on, from speed networking, meeting people from different industries, CV writing, the careers fair, and that makes sure that the students are exposed to all sorts of different people and again different careers to support them in planning for their own future. Our fourth value is succeed. And there's so much going on at Swakely's. There's so many different ways that your child could be successful at Swakely's. We have an annual school production. Last year it was Fame. Here are 3 of the main characters, and they did an absolutely brilliant job. There were many students involved in that production, turning up for rehearsals, and they really had a brilliant time and created a fantastic performance. We have, as I've said, the house competition. We've got lots of oracy going on in our classrooms. We need our students to be confident, and we really want, whatever your child is interested in, that they feel successful at our school. So obviously we have students who like to do sport, and we cultivate that interest with all of our clubs going on at school. We have our house competition. These are the finalists in the house talent competition last year, and they're students who are only in Year 7, and they perform brilliantly. Success might be producing a beautiful piece of artwork, as you can see these children proudly displaying what they have created. Success might be doing an experiment in science and getting the results that you expect. Success might be that over the time at school that you develop in confidence so that you've got more to say and you're happy to express your views in the classroom. That's what we want for all of our students. And in the end, success is created by staff who support children really well. That in the classrooms, the work is pitched at the appropriate level so that students have got the right level of challenge, the right level of support, and they can feel successful in every single lesson. And that's what we aim to do every single day at Swakeleys. So I am a mother. In fact, I've got a daughter in year 5, so we'll be thinking about secondary school. And so I do understand that it can be a little bit daunting in terms of choosing a secondary school. I do appreciate that, and I do know that you go from a situation in primary school where if you're lucky enough to be at the school gate, in primary school you can see your child's teacher in the morning and in the afternoon. And then they come to secondary school and things are a little bit different. The organisation is a bit bigger, there's lots of different teachers, there's lots of things to remember. So I do understand it is a big change. So how will we make sure that your daughter is safe and happy at Swakeleys? Well, just a few things that I wanted to tell you about. First off, we've got a stable head of year 7, Miss Allen. So she's taken lots and lots of year groups through. So she knows the kinds of things that are going to come up. And so when we are planning for our year 7 students, we make sure that we've got a good period of time where they've got longer to move between lessons so they don't have to worry about getting lost. We give them a longer time at lunchtime so they get themselves organised. We're not going to set them detentions if they are late to a lesson. So we really ease them in gently so that start of secondary school, the things that students can worry about, getting a detention, that doesn't happen. And it's only once we're all clear on the systems and the processes, we've been through things, the students have had a chance to ask questions. At that point, we return to having our expectations as they are for all other students. We've got a committed and highly experienced team of pastoral staff, including mentors and place to be. So there's nothing we haven't seen. And although, if your child coming to Swakeleys is the eldest of your children, it might be your first experience of being around teenagers, it won't be ours. So we've been around teenagers, all of us, for many, many years, and we know that it can be a bit of a bumpy road. And we expect that, and we are there to support students, and we know that they will make mistakes. It is the job description of a teenager to make mistakes, but we will be there and we will support you and your daughter as they move through these teenage years. So we have mentors to support your daughter, and we also have the place to be, which you may have heard of. It's a therapeutic service where students can drop in if they're feeling overwhelmed, if they need any additional support, they can self-refer, we can refer, and that happens on site at school every day. Making sure your daughter is safe and happy, I think it's important to point out that we are not a selective school. We have a range of students' abilities. And so although I'm going to talk about our admissions process, we're not in any way selective. And so we've got the full range of abilities at Swakeleys. And so it doesn't matter to us at all in terms of your daughter's starting point. We'll work with her at that starting point to make sure that she makes exceptional progress at our school. We have a strong and experienced SEND team, so if your daughter has additional needs, then we absolutely welcome her to Swakeleys. And something that helps all of us is a clear and well understood behaviour policy. So we talk about the 3 golden rules, and they are well understood by the students, and they're very simple rules, and they support all of us to know about acceptable behaviour. And I was walking around the school yesterday, having a look around all of the corridors in all of the classrooms, and it's such a calm learning environment. The students can focus at Swakeleys School for Girls. The students want to learn, they want to be here, and in the end, that's the most important thing, isn't it? If they're focusing on the lessons, they'll be making progress and making all of us proud. To finish off here, just a quote from Ofsted. Of course, read our Ofsted report. Ofsted came to Swakeleys in May 2022, and we're really proud of the report. Many, many areas that they said were real strengths of the school, and I particularly like this one. Pupils say they feel safe and happy at school, they have extremely positive attitudes to learning, and behaviour is exemplary. A little bit about me. It's important that you know who I am as the leader of this school. So I have worked in education for over 20 years. I did my PGCE at Cambridge University, having worked in finance in the city for a few years. So I was around about 25 when I went to do my PGCE at Cambridge. And then I came to London. I've worked in Ashcroft Technology College, in Mulberry School for Girls, and at Brentford School for Girls. Head of Science, a deputy head, and then latterly a head of school at Brentford School for Girls. So I have many years of educational leadership experience, as do my leadership group, and as I said, so many of the staff have been at Swickley's for many, many years because they absolutely love working at this school. So moving on now to our admissions process. Every school has admissions criteria, and these are ours. So EHCP students at the top, those with an education healthcare plan, and they come through a slightly different route. Students who are looked after, children who have taken the NVR assessment followed by distance. So in another school, it may be that it goes EHCP, looked after children, then distance. But for us, you can see that criteria 3 there is that children who have taken the NVR assessment. And that, because it's part of our admissions criteria, it's so critical that everybody is clear on that. So what is an NVR assessment, non-verbal reasoning? Well, it's essentially problem solving using pictures and diagrams. And here's an example of a question in an NVR assessment. It says 1 is to 2 as 3 is to, and I'm sure that you could work out that it's C there. So we are looking for patterns. It's not something you can practice for. It's not something you can revise for. It takes around about 20-25 minutes, and it gives us a starting point for your daughter. So your daughter is then put into one of 9 bands, and I'll just tell you a little bit more about the NVR assessment. Firstly, why do we have one? Well, we have one because we want to make sure that we are a fully comprehensive school, that we are not just having certain students of a certain ability. And by doing this NVR test, it means that we can have what we call a normal distribution. So in band 1 and 2, the bands where they have slightly lower ability and that they haven't performed, getting higher numbers in the NVR test, we would take fewer of those students. We take more students of the middle banding, and then again fewer students at the very high banding 8 and 9. What does my daughter have to do the NVR assessment? Yes, she does. I've just explained to you that it is part of our admissions criteria. So if you do want to place at Swickley's, and I very much hope that you and your daughter do, it is important, imperative that she does that NVR assessment. You will find out how your daughter got on the assessment, but in a sense it doesn't matter because it just enables us then to work out how many students in each banding we are offering places to. And it's very important that siblings still sit that test. We have sadly had situations where we've got a child here in year 7 and year 8 and their sibling comes and the parents have missed the NVR test, and that unfortunately means that they're not eligible for a place because we are usually very oversubscribed with the waiting list, and so it's absolutely critical that that NVR test is sat. So I'm just going to go through our admissions arrangements, and these can also be found on our little flyer that you've been given out, the green flyer. The first thing is that you fill in the supplementary application form, we sometimes call it a SAF, and that has to be done by 4 p.m. on Friday the 22nd of September. You can do this tonight before you leave, or you can press on the QR code and that will take you to the SAF, and it's just very simple. You're just filling in your details so we can contact you to invite you to the NVR assessment. Then your daughter will be invited in on Saturday the 7th of October into school, and she will be invited in at a certain point. It's very important that you come at the appropriate time. She will sit her test for about half an hour and then that's her done in terms of the NVR. We'll then send you a letter letting you know how she's got on in the NVR, but as I said, it's not used as a method of us saying that your student has done really well, done really badly. It's not about that at all. It's just literally she has to sit it so we can ensure we have a comprehensive intake. You also have to complete the CAF, the Common Assessment Framework, with Hillingdon. And you can do that through their website. So, in finishing, I do appreciate that it is a big decision that you are about to make, but I want to ask you please to trust yourself. You know your daughter more than anybody else. You know her interests, you know her passions, you know her dreams, and so you will know what is right for her. And I'm really hoping that through having a look around the school, if you're able to attend open evening, you get a sense about what we are like as a school. And I'm asking you then to trust your gut, because if it feels right for you and your family, then it will be right. You know, people talk an awful lot about schools. I hear it all the time around where I live in Isleworth. They're always talking about secondary school. But really, in the end, somewhere will feel right. I always say it's like going on a date or looking at a house that you might want to move into. Somewhere will feel right, and you will just know. And I very much hope that Swakeleys is the right choice for you and your family, and that we go on to spend the next 8 or so years together getting to know you whilst we support your daughter to achieve her potential. So please do think about what we have to offer at Swakeleys. I think it's an absolutely brilliant place to work, to attend, and you know, I'm so happy to come to school every single day to support the children that attend this wonderful school. Thank you so much.